We have Travis Allison, so he's our social media manager.
Great, thank you, Agatha. So, as Agatha said, my job is social media, and we sort of consider that two prongs. One is our own marketing, so we're doing the work so we can know how to do the second part, which is to provide you with the resources to do the same. So we have, this is our, had to quickly pick five, not quickly, we had to narrow it down to 5 tips on social media so to try to get you the most value that you could out of your time here today. So the thing with social media is, and I said this in a couple of presentations if you've heard my webinar before or presentations that I've done in the last month or so, is that it's more important to be helpful than to be pretty. So it's more important to be there and to take a role in that and be active than to get caught up in how things look and things must be perfect. In the social media world, it's more important that you're involved in the conversation than whatever leaves your door is perfect. You make a better impression by being helpful and being there than waiting until things are just right. And social media is important for marketers, for schools, because it allows you to amplify those things that you're doing already. So the marketing pieces that you're doing, social media is called social because of the way that it amplifies the things that you're doing. It's what takes what you're doing and spreads it through word of mouth. And we'll talk about that, how, in my presentation. And I think, well, that sort of covers why you should use it, because one thing I said last week at a presentation is whether or not you want to be in this space, if you want to be on Twitter or Facebook, the thing is that your clients and your prospective clients are there. So it's a market that's just begging for information, and it's begging to be fed. They're looking for schools. They're looking to make decisions about education. And so that's why you should be there. That's why you should be in social media. So the great value of social media is that you can do things once, and if you set it up properly, it'll allow the people who are connected to you, your families, your clients, your staff and students, to then spread what you do, and then it can spread to their friends. And it's a she told 2 friends and she told 2 friends medium. Naturally, it amplifies itself. So I guess Agatha said it was on the slide as well when we started, that we have 70,000 viewers a month. So for us, we're noticing the value of social media because 4,500 of those viewers are driven by what we do on Twitter, and 2,500 are driven by what we're doing on Facebook. And we're going to talk about both of those quickly in my presentation today. We'll touch on both of them. The first tip is you can do this. If you have one person for 1 hour, you can do this well if you have one person for 1 hour a day. And that'll give you enough to get started and sort of ease into it. When you think of people talking about social media and you think of all the different things involved, and they're growing every day and changing every day, and there's more things being sort of added into this platform of social media in general, it's a little intimidating. But if you just think of it as one person, 1 hour a day, then you can have a great start, and you can get your presence going, and just take small steps to get out there. And as you get used to it and get going, then that hour becomes more and more effective. The thing with this hour is, I don't think it should be you. I think that it should be someone that you should delegate this job to. In an administrative position, unless you're the marketer or the communications person, in which case it should be you. But it should be something that you delegate, so that you make it someone's responsibility. In the position of leadership or administration, there are too many pulls on your time and too many things that you need to be responsible for and answer to, that it's too easy to just let it go and say, I just don't have time today. But if you, as the leader in your school, the principal, the head, or administrator, can say, this is your job, and I'm going to check and make sure that you do an hour a day, then it's going to be effective and it's going to get done. That person, whoever you delegate there, should be allowed to sort of shine through your message. What you do as a school, the things that go out from you shouldn't be sort of your logo as a head on a body. It should be a personality. It should be a person who your parents and kids get to know is the voice of your school, and that person can engage in the conversation. So that way, when people are looking for schools, search for your school or private or independent school in your area, there's one person that sort of floats to the top, and that person's job is to be responsible for that. And part of presenting that person and making them the face is to do things like let their picture be available. So let people develop that relationship with more than just your shield. Make it a relationship with the person. So if you take a nice picture of them, have it available, them doing something fun at school, then that helps make it personal. Step 2 of the tips is to start at Facebook. With so many things, with so many potential things to be involved in, it seems to make the most sense to start here because the kids are already there, and it'll allow you on Facebook to show off. I've been doing some research on how schools are using Facebook in Canada, their Facebook pages to promote the schools. And a lot of schools are there, and there are schools that are sort of putting stuff up there regularly, and some are doing it better than others. But really it's a great time, a great opportunity for you to be a leader in this field, in marketing boarding schools in Canada, private schools in Ontario, and being there. It's a great opportunity. So it allows you in this meeting to show that you're a leader, you're interested in stuff that's going on in technology, shows that for parents who are interested in that and want their kids to have that experience, you're demonstrating your leadership in that. In Facebook and in a lot of social media, you need to spend that hour a day, but you don't need to invent new stuff in that hour. You can already use what you're doing and leverage the skills that you have in your school. Social media is great. People often go to it because they want to learn things. So they want to learn about private school in general. If you are a private school or, let's say, a Waldorf school, and you are in this space, you can use what you have at your school. People want to learn, you can teach. It's your great gift. It's the thing that you have to offer. So if you are talking about Waldorf in general and can spend time being on Facebook and being in these places teaching about, or whatever your specialty is at your school, or if it's a school that's famous for its athletics, then you can have the coaches teaching. You have teachers, I encourage you to use those skills and be a part of it. There are 4 million people on Facebook every day. It's bigger than countries like Sweden. 400 million, not 4 million. It's most of the European countries put together, it's bigger than Sweden, Spain, Portugal. It's bigger than those 3 countries put together. And everybody in North America, the amount of people involved in it is greater than 65% involved in Facebook. Of adults, not people, adults. So. People spend an average of 55 minutes a day on Facebook, and it sort of goes like this. There's people, the usage of Facebook starts early in the morning, and then people go to work, and then take a break at lunch, and then go back to it in the evening. And you can make use of that by timing things so that they're released when people are on Facebook, and so they show up in the news feed, that first thing that people come to. You can time the work that you're doing so that whenever your hour a day is, it's released at these times when people are on Facebook, so it sort of floats to the top amid everything that's going on. This is the average Facebook user. And to my mind, this is exactly who you are trying to reach. These are the people who are making decisions. There are tons of teens in here, but the average user is a 38-year-old woman. A woman who is professional, working, has a family, and has kids who are school-aged. So if you're on Facebook, then you're talking to exactly the right people. Because you can influence those kids who we know are being more and more influential in making school decisions, but you're there for exactly the right person.